job. Go ahead, put your main ideas back in the reading section of your binder, in the front. Pass your quick reads to the back. We're just going to do one today. Okay? So we did 2 yesterday. We need to do another one today if we have time. We'll work it in at the end. But if not, that's okay. So pass your quick reads to the end, all the way back. You need one piece of notebook paper. So main ideas are in the front part of your reading binder. The reading tab, right behind it is the main ideas. Then you need one piece of clean paper. If you don't have clean paper in the back in the blue bucket. And tidy your area so you have room to work. Don't leave everything all spread out everywhere. We are? Yes, sir. Okay, we did. So what we're going to do first today in reading is this. We're going to go back and we're going to review some of what we did yesterday. Yesterday our goal was summarization. We talked about what a summary was, how we come up with a summary. So today we're going to review it just a little bit. So somebody think back. What is a summary? Who can tell me what a summary is? All right, Cameron, what's a summary? Yeah, but take it so we can all hear you.
Short retelling of what you read.
Yeah, it's right here on the anchor chart, and it's okay to use the anchor chart. Okay? It's a short retelling of what you just read. Okay, so what's the strategy you use when you're just starting out? So if you're reading a chapter, what's the strategy? How do you set it up? Yeah, that's it. Tell it to me.
The characters are studies at the beginning of the middle and the end.
Yeah, so as you read, you're going to tell me about the main character. You're going to tell me about the setting. And then you're going to tell me what happens in the beginning, middle, and end of the part that you read. So it might be a chapter, it might just be a section, a part of a chapter, but you're going to tell me the main character, the setting, an important detail from the beginning, middle, and end of the portion that you read. And that's the strategy that you use as you're reading. Not yet. But what's the other strategy? So after you've finished reading, so you've read the whole book cover to cover, you've read the whole short story, what's the other strategy that you use? Okay, Isaiah, what's the strategy? Yeah, somebody wanted, but so then. That's the strategy that we use after you finish the whole thing. Okay, so we're going to go back and we're going to review. So, yesterday we have an example for the second one when you get finished, but we didn't have an example for as you're reading through. So you had to practice that one on your own yesterday. So today, we're going to practice with the passage from yesterday. So this is our passage from yesterday's writing. Okay? The main character, Mohamed, is the main character. So sometimes it'll say main character, sometimes it'll say protagonist. It's the same thing. Okay? The same thing. So Mohamed is our character. The setting, he lives in a tent and he's part of a tribe. That's all it told us about the setting. It just told us he lives in a tent, his family's part of a tribe. But who can give me an important detail from the beginning of the story? This is to help us with summarization, so that you can do this on your own when you read your class novels. Okay, so what happened towards the beginning of the story? Just one detail. Okay, he was working. What was he working at? You do know. You know it. You're about to tell me, then you stop. All right, tell me. Okay, so at the beginning, both of y'all are on it. You're going back, you're putting the pieces together. But at first in the story, he's helping his mom set up the loom. That's what he's doing to begin with. That's a detail from the first part of the story. Not yet. So the first detail is he's helping his mom set up the loom. Okay? Not yet. In just a minute. Right now, we're just seeing how the pieces go together, so you can see the strategy in action. Okay? So, at the beginning of the story, I just shortened it up. Mo is helping Mom set up the loom. In the middle of the story, what happens? Okay? So think about the big details from the middle. What do we learn about Mo? What does he want to do? Yeah, so Mo wants to help weave the patterns. That's what he wants to do. But what does he have to do instead? Okay, what is he working on in the fields? Okay. Okay, so this is the middle. This is a short story, so it's easy for us to go from the beginning, middle, end, because it's a short story. So, Mo wants to work on the loom, but he has to tend the sheep. You're right. Okay, but he has to tend the sheep. So at the end of the story, what happens?
He saw that his mom was there and met new pattern and then
Say again?
he saw his mom was there, that blanket.
Mm-hmm.
He finished the blanket but in a different pattern.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the story, Mo works on the loom and makes a new pattern.
Then he got to figure it out.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is a summary in a nutshell. This is like the outline for a summary. We got that Mo's the main character. You know the setting is that he lives in a tent and he's part of a tribe. Oh, I need all heads up, hoods off. All heads up, hoods off, eyes up here. So we got Mo. We know he lives in a tent. We know at the beginning of the story, he's helping his mom set up the loom. We know in the middle of the story, he wants to work on the loom, but instead, he has to work with the sheep. Because the male members of the community have to work out in the fields tending the sheep. The ladies stay home and do the looming and the weaving. Then at the end of the story, Mo works on the loom and he makes a new pattern. Okay, so that's a summary of this short story here. But what I want you to do on your paper is I want you to write this summary, but I want you to write it in sentence form. See, like right here, I've got beginning, middle, end, and I've got main character, setting. I need you to put it all together in about 4 sentences. So this is outline, and you can use some of this, but I need to see it in sentence form, complete sentences. And we're practicing this skill so that later when you do your independent reading and you get ready to write your summary, you have an example of what a summary should look like. So ladies and gentlemen, later when you do your summary, I don't want you to put B, M, E. Don't do that. You got to do that part in your mind.
Do it after the order.
No, you're still going to do it in the same order. You're still going to do beginning, middle, end, but you're going to tell it to me in complete sentences. It won't be like bullet points.
You said tell it to the
In complete sentences. So I'm going to give you about 2 minutes. And then we're going to move into today's lesson. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You got about another 10 seconds. About another 10 seconds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, someone who's got a finished summary, please raise your hand. Okay, Vincent, please share your summary with us.
Mo is healthy mindset of the Mo wants to work on the loom, but has to tend sheep. Mo works on the loom, make and makes a new pattern.
Okay, good. And so you have the beginning, the middle, and the end, but you gotta tell me about Mo, and you gotta tell me about the setting. Okay, so can you tell me about that right quick?
The setting is Mo at home works at the
How can you put it together? To tell me about Mo and where he lives. How can you put that together? Again, one sentence.
wants to help his mom, but comes with his mom, he has to
No, you got that part right. Just tell me about Mo and where he lives. So just tell me one sentence that tells me about Mo and where he lives.
he lives in a tent and
That's it. That's it. That's all you gotta tell me. Okay? So, you're telling me Mo lives in a tent. He's part of a tribe. That, you told me the main character and you told me the setting. Okay? So you just need like one sentence to get you going there. Then you told me the rest of it. The beginning, the middle, and the end. So it doesn't have to be real complicated. You're just starting it out. You come get one more share. All right, Michaela, will you share with me? All right, good job. She'd already done that part. The part that we just worked through with Vincent, Michaela had already done that on her paper already. The only thing I would ask for you to add as you do your summary is you want to use transition words. So you need to walk people through. Like we know it's beginning, middle, and end because we're studying the strategy. So we know that in our heads, but somebody reading your summary might not know that. They might think all this stuff happened at the very beginning of the story. Okay? So you have to use some transition words. So in the beginning, we find out about Mo. Mo lives in a tent. His family is part of a tribe. Mo wants to work on a loom. Okay? Towards the middle, or next, use any of those words. Or as the story progresses, Mo wants to work on the loom, but instead he has to tend the sheep. Finally, Mo gets a chance to work on the loom, and he makes a new pattern. That's just me thinking out loud. You don't have to use those exact words, but you want to use some of those words as you do your summary in the future. Okay? So good job, ladies and gentlemen. Just make a line right below that, and we're going to start with today's new information. And I'll move this forward so everybody can see. Possibly. Just do this.